Hi everybody. To begin this video, let me ask you a few questions. Who here pays taxes? Some of you might be thinking you don't pay taxes, right? But you do. Usually, when you purchase an item, it never actually costs what it says on the price tag. It's more when you get to the cashier, right? Why? Because you're paying taxes. So let me ask you again. Who here pays taxes? Everybody. Now, who here pays income taxes? If you don't pay income taxes at this moment, you will soon. So listen up. You begin paying income taxes when you have some sort of income, like through a job. Many people view paying income taxes as a bummer that does nothing but steal your money. Many of us youth don't care enough to learn more about paying income taxes because we just think of it as something we have to do. But by tossing it to the side, we never get to gain the upper hand on how to pay for it in the future. Learning more about paying income taxes may be a drag to most youth, but it's very critical knowledge we must have for our future. We don't care about taxes because it seems so far off, but there are people in Congress fighting over this issue at this very moment. We, the young people, need to be aware of this issue because we are the future generation who will soon be voting. Not only will we be voting for our future, but for the future of our children, and so on. We cannot make an educated decision without having an informed opinion. So let's get informed. Do any of you know how our tax system works? First of all, let me tell you the basics of our tax system. Our tax system follows progressive taxation, which means that we don't all pay taxes equally. Workers who earn the most pay higher tax rates, and workers who earn less pay lower tax rates. Our current tax rate is 10% for the lowest income people and 39.6% for the highest income people. And those in the middle pay in between 10% and 39.6%, depending on their income. These income tax rates are what working people pay, but those people who make more money from investments fall into a different category of taxpayers. They pay something called capital gain tax, which is a tax on sale of assets. Did you know that many wealthy investors pay lower tax rates than many workers do on their earnings? How does this happen? Let me tell you a little bit about capital gain taxes. The richest investors follow capital gain taxations, while the less wealthy investors follow under the same rules of our progressive taxations. The richest investors are taxed at 15% or 20% on their profit of sales, while the poorest investors are taxed at 0% tax rate on their capital gains. Highest earning investors who earn more than $400,000 a year pay a 20% income tax rate on their capital gains, while middle income workers who earn around $60,000 a year pay 25% income tax rate. So, high earning investors who make most of their money from investments pay lower tax rates than a middle income worker. Warren Buffett, the most successful investor in the 20th century, said that it is not fair that he pays less taxes than his secretary, who was a middle-income worker. In a recent poll, almost half of Americans said that their taxes are unfair. Right now, Congress is debating this issue and considering changes to the income tax rates. Let's listen into a Democrat who agrees with President Obama's budget plan and a Republican who agrees with Paul Ryan's plan as they discuss their opinions on personal income taxes and possible reforms. What would you change about our income tax system?
I think we should simplify and lower the tax rates to a 10% tax rate for the low-income people and a 25% tax rate for the high-income people.
Why do you think that?
It should be like that because I believe these hard-working high-income people should be able to keep most of their money instead of having to help the government pay for everybody else.
But if the wealthy pay lower tax rates, there won't be enough money for the government to function and continue to pay for infrastructures and things like roads and bridges and services for the public.
But that is not just our responsibility since we pay the most. Neither is having to play a parent role for everybody else.
Well, it's not like you guys are the only ones paying for income taxes. Everybody is. Plus, if there's a difference in tax rate between low income and middle income, there should be a difference tax rates between middle and high income people.
But the wealthy work hard for their money and some own businesses. They should be able to keep most of their money so they can use it to improve their businesses or use the money for themselves. I mean, it is their money that they've earned.
You have a point there, but I believe that tax rates should be raised for the wealthiest people.
Why?
Because it's not fair that many of the top 1% wealthiest people are paying less taxes than middle income people.
Then what do you suggest?
I believe that we should follow the Buffett rule, which will bring fairness by making sure that no millionaire pays lower tax rate than middle class families. That means that no millionaire will be able to pay a lower tax rate than 30%.
But that will only bring fairness to middle and low income, not the high income.
No, it will bring fairness to everybody because 30% is nothing compared for the wealthy, but a lot for people of lesser income. Not only will it bring fairness, but it will also help even out the current economic inequality that we have in the U.S.
Now that you have heard two sides of the personal income taxes issue, hopefully you have an opinion of your own. If you don't, it is fine because you're now informed about a very important issue that includes all of us.
It is important to know about this because we all pay different types of taxes each day, and we will all eventually pay taxes.
Lastly, we should be aware of how the tax system works in our country, because we have the right to know why we pay a certain rate, while others might pay a different rate.